Back. We on our way to Iowa. We just left out of Illinois, and we got about a 6-hour drive. Right now we up in some hills and some mountains, going through Illinois, or coming out of Illinois going into Iowa. But woo, man, let me tell you, these mountains, these hills, crucial. I can't tell you the last time that I've had to drive through a mountain or a hilltop like this. I think it's been about 3 years, maybe 2 years. The very first time that I got my CDL, as soon as I got in the truck with my trainer to get on the road, the first thing we hit was the hills. We was in the mountains. It was the very first thing ever. And it scared the living out of me. It scared the living out of me. Bro, not the fact of going up the hill, but trying to come down the hills with so much weight behind you. Oh my goodness. And then it's just like, not only do you have a whole bunch of weight behind you going down these hills, so you have to cover the brake the whole time. You have to drop gears so that you can engine brake as well at the same time. You also got curves and turns within the hill as well. That was probably one of the times where I almost considered not driving trucks anymore. I literally almost considered not driving trucks anymore. Like, this is not for me at all. I've had times where I've gone through mountains in Tennessee. I was in Tennessee. I don't remember what part of Tennessee, what city it was. I think I was going through Nashville, and I was going through a back road up a hill in Tennessee. And the roads were so small for the trucks that my outer wheel on my very rear axle, because I was driving flatbed at the time, would kind of go off of the edge of the hill on certain turns because the turns were just that sharp. And I was like, man. And that was probably, now that I think about it, the very first time I went driving up a hill through a mountain, was the very first time I got in the truck to get on the road with my trainer. Then the second time I ended up going through some mountains was immediately after I went into driving by myself, where I was done with my training. I had my own truck and it was just me. And within that time, probably I want to say a week or 2 weeks after I started going solo, I was back into a mountain. And I was probably going through, I believe I was going through Arkansas, or I think it was Arkansas. Either Arkansas or Oklahoma. One of the two. But man, those 2 times, I was like, I might be done with driving trucks altogether. The first time, I had anxiety after that, even going down small hills. I was just already braking before I even get to going down the hill at all. It was stressful, but you know, I got through it because I'm a G. So I got through it. I'm actually very glad that it was one of the first experiences that I got to do with my trainer once I got in the truck with my trainer. Because it kind of showed me, he was kind of able to guide me and teach me how to maneuver through the mountains. So when I did go into driving solo by myself, and those first 2 weeks I was driving solo and I went into the mountain, it actually wasn't as bad as the very first time. The very first time is always going to be stressful, always going to be high anxiety. You always kind of thinking about the worst to a degree. But once you get through that part, once you make it through that kind of learning curve of it, it's really not that bad, honestly. It's not that bad at all, because these trucks are very capable of braking, having enough power to stop all that weight that's traveling down the hill. If you take precautions prior to going too fast down the hills, then you really don't have anything to worry about at all. The engine braking on these trucks are very, very powerful. Unless you just get into a raggedy hoopty or a truck that isn't serviced properly or pre-trip like you were supposed to. So now brakes can fail. You might have to hit an arm ramp. And now, at the time that I was going down those hills in Tennessee, my first time on the road by myself, you could see like other trucks, I want to say box trucks, not necessarily truck and trailer, but like U-Haul looking trucks. They were going down the hills and you could see their brakes like smoking from them, because when you get in those trucks don't have that powerful of engine braking. So you have to specifically depend on the brakes themselves, the service brake, like the brake pedal you push on, instead of the engine braking by you downshifting. Come on, big baby. Come on, big baby. So yeah, man, that was crazy. But I can say the perks of going through a mountain, when you go through a mountain, the views that you get from the top or even going up are really incredible, in my opinion. Most of my views that I saw that I thought was very memorable were going through the mountains. I came across a dam for the very first time, like a huge dam that I had to cross over. And I've never seen a dam before, a day in my life. And this was when I was traveling through the mountains in Tennessee. And I came across a dam. I think I got a video of it on TikTok. I believe that I posted. And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was the biggest dam I've ever seen. It was my very first dam that I ever saw in person. I was so impressed by the dam and the views of it that I pulled over to the side of the road before even crossing the dam to take pictures and take videos and actually admire the view itself. So for those that are going in and getting their CDL and it's going to be your first time going through the mountains, I would suggest that when you get in the truck with your trainer, try to get a route that takes you through the mountains so that your trainer will be able to guide you through it, where it's not something that you would have to learn the hard way by making a mistake or anything of that nature. Because if that's the case, then who knows the worst possible thing that can happen. Because the two hardest things I want to say about driving trucks, number one is backing up, trying to back up to park. Number two would probably be keeping your truck in its lane when the wind is blowing. Those are probably the two hardest things. Now, when you first start driving trucks, like for me, when I first started driving trucks and I was getting my CDL, when we went on the road to do our road test for the very first time, because I went through a company to get my CDL, and they trained me and taught me how to drive trucks. And so when my very first time getting on the highway and experiencing another truck passing me that big while operating a huge truck as well, it was really kind of nerve-wracking. Like, I was really nervous, honestly. And at the same time, not only did I have my trainer that was training us, but I had other classmates that was going through the process as well with me, that was in the truck while I was driving, while I was doing my road test. and practicing going on the highway to drive. So it was a little more nerve-wracking when you have your classmates there and your trainer. So you really have to kind of focus in on what you are doing. But once you get past that, driving trucks, it's a breeze. Once you learn how to back up, it's a breeze. Once you figure all of that out, counter steering, it's really a breeze. Everything else kind of plays into what you already know and what you've already learned just from driving in general, just from having a driver's license and driving on the road in general. All of that stuff is the same. The only difference is you're in a lot. Your vehicle is a lot bigger, and when the wind blows, you go. If you get what I'm saying, when the wind blows, you go. So you definitely have to be aware of areas that are like very windy. For me, it's Texas a lot of times, especially in areas where there aren't a lot of trees and it's just open field, like farmland. A lot of those areas very windy. So just be real cautious about when you're traveling through areas like that. But other than that, man, piece of cake, bro. Piece of cake. Y'all got this, man. So I've been driving trucks for probably about going on 4 years. And yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all for tapping into the channel. And I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. We headed to Iowa. I'm going to see y'all on the other side of the world, man. Peace out.